actually led to those beginnings. I was up in Portland last week and I called out to see their famine memorial. And it's very moving, and it's a big city. And I think it's so much more important, though, in a way, to have a more memorial like this in a place like this. Because the Irish, when they came to the West Coast, it wasn't like the East Coast. On the East Coast, the Irish were late arrivals. They landed, 1.5 million of them in boats, starving to death, ill, uneducated, illiterate, many of them not even speaking the English language. They weren't welcome, they weren't wanted, they were the wrong religion, and they found themselves in the slums of cities like New York, Boston, and New Orleans, and they had to ask themselves, how do we make a new home here? How do we find our place in America? How do we become part of the American story and the American dream? And one of the most important places where that happened was in California, because the story of the Irish on the West Coast is different. When the Irish came out to California, they were among the first pioneers. There really weren't anybody else here. There were no cities to find themselves in the slums of. Instead, they built the cities of the West Coast. They built the towns and the settlements. California is one of the few states where the Irish, despite the trauma of what happened to them after the famine, actually went back to agriculture. That they actually started to farm again.